My name is Dontez Lindsay. I am the general manager of Ducks Trading LLC, as well as the lead trainer of StockCraft. I'm not a financial advisor, nor a CPA, and the content I create is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I trade in my account, and everything I do is hypothetical in nature because it doesn't happen in your account. My experience with trading is not typical, nor does it guarantee that similar results will be obtained by you. I am merely sharing my opinion with no guarantee of gains or losses in investments. Remember, day trading can be extremely risky. You should be prepared to lose all the funds that you use for day trading. In particular, you should not fund day trading activities with retirement savings, student loans, second mortgages, emergency funds, funds set aside for purposes such as education or home ownership, or funds required to meet your living expenses. Further, certain evidence indicates that investments less than $50,000 will significantly impair the ability of a day trader to make a profit. Of course, an investment of $50,000 or more would no way guarantee a success. With that out of the way, let's get into the content. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody had a good weekend, and you're ready to make some money this weekend or this week. Without other awkward introductions or whatever you want to call this. We have maybe a play today. So I just saw Steven speak in the chat and a few other people in the FC. They just called LVTX a gap up short, which is a little bit weird to me because I actually called it like a first green day because it's a downtrending chart. So I don't see a consistent resistance, and I don't see any nearby individual resistance, which you do have one. You have this 6 million, so I think that's why they call it a gap up short. It's because it's already up by 150% from 240, and we're hitting into that individual resistance. And you wouldn't call it a, how do you say it? So since all this is underneath the current point, I feel like that's why they're calling it like a consistent resistance. And then this is the individual resistance, and it's already going through that. Even if it is only like 6 million, you only need like three, 4, but preferably now like 5, 6 to have some kind of resistance with that. So this is pretty much a gap up short, and because it has a resistance, so it can't be a first green day. But it still feels a little bit weird calling. At the end of the day, this stock gapped up from 240, and this is what it looks like in the pre-market. Overall, it went to 610 at this point, and yeah, we don't know how high this is going to go. We just know that it's a biotech, low float, and small cap, and that there is exclusive contract. So it's a contract winner. Other than that, the only thing we can do is pretty much lead with the risk management. And we see this already went up to 610 before. I was calculating from 6, trying to see what kind of pushes it would do. Yeah, but it's already up 150%. Overall, it doesn't have a lot of volume right now. It only has 6 million, which means, it's slightly getting into that normal volume area. If it was like something between like, 2 to 3, you can kind of assume that you can just be like, go in at the open, it's going to fall. But now it's getting to that point where it might just fall down to 520 and then come right back up. And I say 520 because that's like 30%. Thing. Other than that, I was looking at ISPC for a pre-market breakout play, but I don't think that's the case. 2.54. What was I doing? Yeah. Yeah. So what am I doing? Pretty much, since this is a gap up short, we don't know where the top is going to be, so we're just expecting, short squeezes and like pushes at the open, and just having our risk management ready for when it hits those levels. But again, we have like really insufficient volume at this point. So we just really want to see how it opens. It's really cheap. It's only 2 cents. So I borrowed 4K. Uh, I can afford like something closer to 6K, but again, it's a gap up short. So it's one of those things where you can have like one or two tries, but overall it's cheap. So not the end of the world. I hit the chat. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's all marked. Good morning. I lost 10% of my live account already in the first 3 weeks. So you decided to go back to the demo. Paper trading, it's different. Well, yeah, I can. It's good that you did that. Whenever you take a big loss, it's time to reflect, and going on a temporary hiatus for like a couple weeks to a couple months, depending on how much like trauma you had. You'll be able to reflect a lot. I still remember the first time I lost on GME, like first time I lost like 10K and then 5K, and then like it was a ripple effect with the losses. Yeah, so that's good that you did that. But don't get into a habit of not trading, is what I want to say. Because eventually you're gonna have to retrain yourself to start using money again. Because paper trading, it feels different. Like you can start winning on the paper trading account, but making the switch back using actual money, you're gonna give yourself new problem, or it feels like new problem. I heard Steven say only focus on 1-2 setups. Yeah. When you're starting out, you're supposed to master the first, like either a gap up short or bounce short, first, so you can master just price action and reading charts in general, and then understand. Like it's all to focus on risk management at the end of the day. The more comfortable you get with this, the easier it is to fall like fall in love with the process and make things just a lot more simple. And then the simpler you make it, the more you can last in the long run. I can give an example. Yeah, so here's like some of Steven's trades. Here's one from before where, this was like obvious. It has a spike history. It had a first green day, like just went up 190%, and then it pulled back to pretty much 50% of that range it created. Then later it pulled back down to like this point. Only thing you really need to know is at the top of this range, and then how much potentially could it go. Those are the only two stats you needed. And then everything in between, that's not noise, but that's like your feeling. Like, you can come up with any kind of technique to take profits on the way to where, it'd be tailored to your personal fears about the specific pattern this is, which in this case, you just see it's a momentum shift. It's on its third green day. It's pretty much just a really big gap up short. Yeah, so you can do like one or two tries on this, or just size down really small, and you'll see the way Steven does it. He does like, he goes in like 120K on these, and so he spreads it out into little increments. But the timing at which he goes in is always the same. Is that first 5 minutes, even though he always says not to trade in the first 5 minutes because of volatility. But if it meets his target, he'll do it. Like this overextension, it's so obvious. But yeah, I'll just leave that there for now. It'd be the same thing for like different types of trades. Oh, what am I doing? Wait. I have a lot of $15 tickers today. But I checked out most of them. They don't really stick out as anything for me. But what was ISBC? I was looking at that and comparing it to the pre-market breakout we had last week, which was LIMT. And the main thing I liked on LITM was you had these double spikes, and then it had some type of support to bounce off of. Well, the difference today is the spike a little further over here, but it technically could go to like 230, 240, and then come back up. But if you look at like the downtrending chart, it's different. Like, so you got like downtrending, then you got a little bit sideways, and then there's no individual resistance above like 8 million. But on ISPC, it goes downtrending. I don't know, it looked weirder earlier. Can't remember what I wanted though. It just doesn't look as clean. That's the only thing for me. Like, cause it's still a low float and a micro cap. But there's no news on this one. At least on the last one, we received like really relevant news. So there's no guarantee that it's actually going to pop off. But the chances are still there. And in terms of like pre-market volume, it is meeting my, like most of my requirements, like float, market cap, healthcare slash, it's not a biotech, but it's healthcare. If it was biotech, I'd go for it a little faster, just because I'm just trying to catch the offering if I'm trying to short it, or I'm trying to test the like press release if I'm trying to like go long on it. But this didn't actually get any press right now. Last thing was, it was pretty much new management, and new management, it's cool, but like it's a fundamental change at that point. It's not equivalent to like having new history, but it's not going to have an immediate like, oh, we're going to double the price, unless that chief he worked at Walmart or something before. So what am I doing? Okay, so when I say downtrending chart, it just means that it came from a high and it went to a low. But now, since today we know it's at $6, everything up to that point is pretty much canceled. And so we're assuming we're starting at pretty much January and before. Like anything below that, it doesn't really matter anymore, because it's already been like messed up by that. So now you pretty much just, if this has more history, it did. Yeah, pretty much from this point on, it's gone. Like I want to put my hand there, but like that doesn't actually show anything. Yeah, so from here to there, I don't know how else I could block that. Oh wait, yeah, there you go. There's your chart. So now this one is not downtrending as much anymore, and you can consider like this little portion like a consistent resistance. That's how you want to look at that. So to answer your question, is the downtrending? No, not anymore. But before, like in the morning, I was just like, I don't know if I called that a gap up short. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, okay, I think I was wrong. But other than that, ISPC, I just want to have more pre-market breakouts under my stats in terms of pictures before I just started like buying everything. At the same time, I also promised to like have more shorts. Like pretty much I don't want to buy anything until I get to PDT. But then that also kind of sounds stupid, because there's some like easy setups in the buying recently, and I just let them go Now, one I won't miss is like a parabolic, like dip buy. Like if something drops from like 120 and then goes to like what, $40 or $30. Yeah, I'm gonna dip buy that. The volume seems pretty small or slow. Okay, we got 1.8 in the first 5 minutes. Was ADTX a pre-market breakout? I don't remember. I don't. I don't think so. Yeah, it was a reverse split. Yeah, this was the is the one that just it went up. Wait, who asked that? Ah, never mind. It broke out just before the open. Yeah, that's good that you do that. You size down, or for normal plays, you go in pretty small, but for ideal plays, you bump up the price or position size. Okay, now on this, I just really don't want to touch it, but I want to touch it. Like that famous last or some creepy word, whichever comes first. I just want to be able to predict what this is gonna do. Because it's still really slow, and it's up only 20%. 3.8. Yeah. It does. Okay. Fake out, breakout. Now this one, definitely pulling a lot more than I thought it would. Looks like it's actually going to the halfway mark. And apparently I erased my line. Oh, what? There's only one. There's supposed to be one. Uh, fine. What's 'If it doesn't crack this like 80, 85, it's actually gonna be really bullish and come back up. I think that's where my entry would be, around like 540 at that point. %40%. That is 40. Okay. Yo, what's going on? Not streaming today because I'm out of town, but I'm watching LVTX. Uh, Nothing much. I don't really see anything going on besides this gap up short. I just want to know what they're probably doing in the Freedom Channel. Oh, okay. Here we go. They're speaking. They're saying things. Main thing is I wanted something like a squeeze to happen. And so usually you try to figure out where the early shorts are. And so this went up to 6 before, then it went up to 6:10. Early shorts were probably at like 5:30, 5:30, 5:40. When it went up and came back down, I feel like those same shorts are going to be there at like 5:40, 5:30. When this comes up again, I feel like you have to squeeze like past that point. And so what I like to do is just, count squeezes from that point. I usually do everything in multiples of 20. So it goes like, since we're at 150%, I'd be pretty much looking at 160%, which would be like 2.6. And that'd put us at like 624. And then there's always that like 1-2% change that you get for wiggle room. But things will change if this actually cracks. Like it's kind of doing right now. It's not decisive, but it is doing it. Low did that go? Okay, I can work with that. Yeah, so at 36, well, market cap on that pretty turn to high. Probably, probably 80, 80. Yeah, point. Ooh, just died out of the open. Which is still fine. I this, there's no push at all. Can't see it over there. So pretty much, I remember there being a first green day that went down half at the beginning. And then since it went down half within the first 30 minutes, it did a really big bounce and it squeezed. I just want to see if there's any similarities with that ticker and this ticker. I just forgot which one it was. This pre-market stuff in actually. Much of this 2 to 3. No, that's not it. Three to 7. Okay, this kind of similar. Okay, but this one actually had a oh, pullback, and then it did a push. We didn't have a push. But main thing is this went down half, and then it gradually came back up, and I'm trying to aim for like that mark right there. So normally when you see a really big like pullback or something, stocks don't go straight up or straight down. There's always some kind of pullback or a spike. Since this already went down to like half, or not half, but like at least a third, I feel like it's due for a bounce. Now it's happening gradually, so that's the only thing that's making me hesitate. Like this is like slowly grinding, and there's no actual support, or layers of support, other than pretty much that halfway point, which is around like 4.5. Now, if it just dropped there at the beginning, then I'd be more confident about that bounce. Now this just looking like a slow fade most of the day, which is kind of disappointing. Normally, when you see something like this, where no volume's coming into the stock, it means something else is taking the volume, either spread out through like more tickers or overall sentiment in the market, like it's slowly dying. And so the early shorts are winning pretty much. But next week, or like later in the week, then the patient shorts start. Still in. If I went under PDT, I'd do half at the open, and I'd pretty much just get my borrow fees back at the point. Well, the borrows were actually cheap, though. I'd be up. But my thing is, I just don't know if the volume's going to pick up after the morning. Because if it does pick up, beating 12 million volume is actually pretty easy. And if that's the case, liquidity can come into this chart and it can easily blow this top. It's just so slow. Okay, what am I doing? Does the overall market dead lead to there no short squeezes on LVTX? That's what it feels like right now. Disappointment. No push on LVTX. TZ is still lagging behind other platforms. Yeah, TZ last week, a few weeks back, and they're like 50% of the reason I didn't trade a few times. I even put in my notes. I'm just like, why didn't I go in on this? And it's just like, oh, TZ messed up. Just like, nope, not even chancing it. I believe LVTX will run from 9 to 910, then fail again down to 4. Yeah, that sounds pretty doable. Let's see. Four, 3 points. Yeah, I was thinking like 750. Double. 6 point. That's 250. What is 4 point? Okay. Actually, 2 point, 2 point, yeah, 9.4. 9.4 is my new guess. But that's if it's a full breakout. How do you say this? Like if the liquidity comes into the chart and then it squeezes and breaks out a 6, it does the fake out at a lower level. And that goes to, I think I had it earlier. %70. Okay. Oh yeah, it goes to about 750. But if it does the full breakout, like not the one that doubles from the bottom, but the one that like it's likely to hit this point, then reverse on the day, then close strong, and then slightly do a double intraday top the next day kind of play. That it's just so much easier to give an example. What was it doing? Yeah. Yeah, like this. Yeah, like so imagine this was in the pre-market. Then that pulled back about 50%, then squeezed. And this would be like the 940 mark. But the thing is, we have a similar situation, like low cap. We don't have the micro cap. We have a small cap. But we do have the downtrending chart with that single individual resistance right there. Now this is actually the day that it went up. So ignore that comment. But overall, main thing is like when we have the squeeze that we want to happen, like when liquidity comes into the chart, like that's a lot stronger than the earlier part of the day. That's when you can have that. But on other times, here we go. At other times, you'd have something like this. Yeah, so this was up 50%. Pulled back 32. That's also 50%, or a little bit under. Oh, wait, 50%. $1.50. Come down to about 325. Yeah, that's it. That's 50%. Then you went up 80% from the 250. Yeah. Okay, so you either grow up 90% or you go up 100% or you go up 30%. That's pretty much what it is. How I was doing. Oh yeah. Boo. I was hitting this one. That's still not the max it can go. Just keeps creating more and more new lows. Yeah, you guys have the right idea. Monday is usually really chaotic and pretty dangerous for shorts. and the people that want to chase this because it's so high up, and they're looking at consolidations and other places to risk off of, and you think this pre-market like support area is like a cliff, and you want to chase it all the way down to probably, what would that be? No, not you want to probably chase it down to like 350. um you got to be prepared for those squeezes. Think about the people that just straight up aim for this one up to 150, right? So I did that. Oh, yeah, I think the safest I'd be able to get or like chase this would be 4, especially since it's a gap up short. Now it'd be different if this had an offering or something. Then we could chase it all the way down to like 3. But overall, this was just a contract winner. I really wanted to push, but I still want to stick to mostly resistance plays with my trades. Uh, I say that, but I also want to like continue to create my profile for pre-market breakouts, multi-day runners, and etc. My main focus is not to lose my cool when I go above PDT and I pull out the machine gun and I'm just like trade cover. But they're doing. Wanted to check see if anything happened. Oh, 2 hours ago. Nope. Oh, there's 2 documents. No, they're the same thing. They're different. Oh, yeah, I was even looking at the institutional ownership earlier. I was just like, okay, this has 50%. So that's not pretty. That's not high. I was like, at least compared to the one we saw that was like 80% to 100% before. I was like, this has a chance to come down, but it won't come down like, right away. But usually with these healthcare sectors, they need volume or they need extension so they can do their offerings and things like that. I'm still a little confused how they just won this so slowly. Because another thing I'm kind of looking out for is I was reviewing my trades the other day. I saw offering in one of them. My trade. He's also Steve. My trade. My trade. Not your trade. My trade. Look at it. Review. Happening all that. Oh, there we go. I wanted to show you there was a offering. Oh, here we go. Did it at the bottom. Da, da. Oh, probably actually the first. That was the first one. All right. So, overall, we see I made 12% on only 12%. But potentially I could have made up to 66%. Now I top ticked it at so this went up to like 365. I was at 357. The next morning at 8 a.m. it had an offering. It was healthcare. Ooh, what am I doing? Yeah, healthcare. Low float, large market cap. It was a high odds late day bounce short. So like late day spikes are harder to beat down. But in this case, we still had a lot of resistance left. What day was this? 19th. Yeah. So we're over here. So I was using the close of this candle as a like the main resistance, because like this area is overall seemed like a light resistance that I could use. But other than that, there's also almost 100 million above that point, which is like another like layer of support. But at the time, I was building. Yeah, right. Not that one. I built up a large position, and so I kind of lost focus of the bigger picture. Right there. Something just seems weird when I'm looking at this. I can't tell what it is though. Well, anyway, I made a mark at 360. It didn't show up in the morning. Didn't touch it. It showed at the end of the day, and then I was kind of looking at the chat. Got a little FOMO right before the close. Just thinking back to all those things that like popped up in the market. So I closed at right at the open, even though I had full plans to hold it to 270 the next day, which just happened to do an offering all the way to this point. And so, minimum, I would have got the 50% I was looking for. Max, I would have got the 66%. So that's sad. I forgot why I mentioned that though. I think it was something to do with the whole reason we're in these biotechs is so we're trying to get these offerings at the market, or any kind of dilution stuff. Something else. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. TZA, first red day of sorts, plus overall going green. don't see it pop up on my scanner. Okay, yeah, I know why. Yeah, there's a lot of these what do you call it? It's the ones that have like times 2 shares, times 3 shares, and that stuff around it. Yeah, there's a lot of those going right now. But main thing is I try not to trade things on the New York Stock Exchange. So I don't really have an opinion on this because I feel like the whole thing's manipulated in the first place. And so you'd be looking at more about like the news and the psychology of the market maker more than just like overextension supports and things like that. Uh, you go to New York Stock Exchange and a few other things when you get really good at it. I'll just stick to the Ducks Trade and LLC patterns for now. If this bounces, it already went to the 50%. And it's clearly like over shorted or the sentiment's just like not there. We can't really tell because there's no volume. Yeah, just not gonna touch it for me. Now, if something happens later in the day, yeah, I'll handle it if it shows up. But I can't really see anything for right now because there wasn't any like big cracks causing back orders. Like this is a fade. This isn't like a consolidation. Only thing I would try to do would be like a fake out. And, we be right back in the same place we were before. Just relying on the 6 million individual resistance, which is crazy. All right. What am I doing? LI, LIM, LITM. Is it on? Yeah, it's on SSR. Yeah, but it doesn't have any odds to be anything right now, right? So LV. So one is a contract winner, and this one is more of like it's closer to a very light pump or like just PR. So this one went from 0.82 all the way up to like 318. It's kind of similar. Like this is the kind of action that we want it to happen. But then we got this. But that news came out on the 25th. What was the 21st? Okay, here we go. Exclusive license agreement for late antibiotic. Yeah, so that's the same kind of news that we got from today on LVTX. But when you get exclusive rights to something, it's a pretty decent contract winner. I feel like I have a double here. This. Yeah, but main thing is we see this went from 0.82, then in the pre-market all the way up to 228. So that's 100 and almost 80% increase versus this one did 150% increase. Now, even after it went up 180%, oh, I can keep that. Something doesn't seem right. No, that's right. Oh, I divided. That's why. 1.8 times point. Wait. So this pulled back less than 20%, and then it found some support. So that makes it pretty bullish. And at that point, the lowest point it went was 1.85. Since we have that 1.85, stop that. We can pretty much add on squeezing percentages at this point. Now, since it's a $2 stock, and it's also low market cap, low float, and a biotech is the main thing. We want to start adding on the big percentage. So I'm just going to throw the biggest one I could think of right now. Actually, I'll do a lighter one first. Okay, good thing I did the lighter one. 82. So let's put it at 340. And where did this go? Went up to 3.2. No, extra point. Come down. All right. Now, I forgot why I was looking at that. Oh, main thing is the contract, the exclusive contract, that was enough for us to realize it was going to go up a lot. Now, I don't know the volume of this day in detail, but it definitely had a lot more volume in the pre-market compared to LVTX. And so that volume picked up during the intraday. It looks like it happened after 10. So it was on the second end in the rush, like the second rush in the morning. Before that point, it already went down 30%. Remember, I was trying to make a call around, I think it was like 480. That would have been the equivalent. Yeah. The main thing is you were just looking at like me doing some of the key points. That's all you really need to know. Just choose your favorite and just stick with that. Can you compare? I read Trading in the Zone, and I can see you were a boom and buster type of trader. I'm a consistent loser. Oh shit. I'm late to the party. Could you burned a little or multi-day stuff? All right, guys, it's already 10:30. I'm gonna head out. See you guys tomorrow. I just realized it was 10:30. I need my coffee. I now drink coffee now. Peace.